my good friend and colleague, Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rudy, Chairman Railway Board, Member Staff Railway Board, other members of the Railway Board, my friend, the Secretary of Ministry of Skill Development, and our partners in many areas, the friends of media, and my other friends. So let me first welcome the Minister and Secretary and his other colleagues to the Railway Ministry. So you are not only the Minister of Skill Development, but you are Minister with a lot of skills. So we hope your coming here will also help us to develop our skills too, like what you have been able to do. So I welcome you to this. He is also Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, so we need a lot of skills to pilot many things in the Parliament also. It's a very interesting day for us. Tomorrow our Honorable Prime Minister will launch a major program on the World Skill Day, isn't it? World Skill Day.
International World Skill Day.
International Skill. Only a few days back, we celebrated globally, I don't know whether the right word is celebration, but we observed a World Population Day. So we are in between a World Population Day and an International Skill Day. So World Population Day was a reminder to us about the quantity of people that are now increasing on the planet, which is 7.5 billion almost, and in India. So we are talking about, some days back we used to say India is 1.2 billion. Just few days back, few years earlier, we used to say we are only 1.1 billion. But the population day said that we are already 1.27 billion. So 1.2 billion also is thing of the past. But by the time we have the next census, I hope not, but we could be the most populous country in the world. We'll be bypassing China in terms of number. In last one decade, China more or less plateaued. So they are also at the census at the same time. Whereas our population increased by 10 crores in that period. So it's one hand is the population day which reminded us about the numbers. That's a quantitative issue. But a day that we are going to observe tomorrow will give an opportunity to convert quantity into quality. How could we make this large number of people who are living on this planet, and particularly in India, how to make them not just people living in the country, but people who contribute to development of India, who could substantially, by their own labor, would increase the productivity, add value to the economic activity, and in the process reduce social tensions. Because, as we always say, the empty mind is devil's workshop. I think the idle mind or idle body, I don't know what we can describe it as. And we are seeing the manifestation of that idle bodies working in the country, because they then take up to issues which are not always desirable. And therefore, to make sure that we convert this quantity into quality, the only way that we can make it happen is by development of skills. And that is a vision of a Prime Minister who created an independent ministry, the first time in the history of India, and asked someone as capable and competent as Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rudy to lead it. So we look forward to this ministry succeeding. Where lies the success of India? Because any society wherein the growth will increase, as it is happening now, we are the fastest growing economy in the world. But if the growth does not percolate down to the people at various levels, will not be a sustainable model of development. And to make it percolate down, to make sure that everybody benefits, the only way we can make it happen is that each and every person must participate into this process of development. And how will you participate in process of development? We have just increased our minimum wage. In fact, that's the government's another contribution. We increased to about 160 rupees in the last few days ago. That's what I read in one of my journalists writing about it. But the increase in minimum wage only puts value on the labor. But just imagine if you offer skills to that person, the amount of earning that he can get will not be just minimum wage, but will be far in excess of that. A person who is only putting a manual work can get minimum wage. But a person who actually doing value-added work through skills acquired through the process can actually add substantial value to his own income and his own family's well-being, but also to the economic and social development of the country. And therefore, skill development is one of the most important programs that we have to work on. In fact, I must just tell you that when I was a member of parliament elected to the parliament for the first time, I didn't call it skill development, but I started a similar program for vocational training. And Mr. Dilip Chinoy has visited our place and has seen it. And we have trained more than 60,000-70,000 people in rural areas for self-employment. I never went to them asking for votes because I said this is different, this is political work and this is my social commitment. But as it could always happen, people were surprised how I am getting more votes because I was never spending money, never doing anything that normally in the election you need to do, but I was still winning 4 consecutive elections. I must share the secret. One of the reasons is that people realize that they have got not money at the time of election, but incomes by their own contribution because they acquired some skills. Now just imagine a program of this magnitude goes all over the country. What could be the big contribution that this particular population will have on the impact of India? I must tell you with you, and this of course you know, the lady who made the first report on BRICS, we had recently the BRICS, but it was not called BRICS then, it was called BRIC, B-R-I-C, because there were only 4 countries. We added S later. So the Brazil, Russia, India, China. And that report first time said that India is an emerging economy and stuff like that. The lady who made it, if I remember the first name, of course the last name was Purushottam, Rupa Purushottam, who made that report for Goldman Sachs. The same lady made a report subsequently, a research report, saying that only Indian women get only the minimum wage that is there. That time the minimum wage was far lower. India's GDP will rise by 1%. So just imagine if every individual in India is now skilled, how much will be the addition to GDP? You cannot imagine the huge impact it would have on this. Again, the amount of money that we have to spend on maintaining law and order will be drastically reduced if everybody is employed and try to do something concrete. So this is a very, very interesting program in which I am very happy that railways now will be partnering. Railways is the largest employer in the country and railways could significantly contribute to the skill development in a way that, as my other colleagues have said already, by using railways infrastructure, railways manpower for training people. We have schools, so they can be available as trainers. The railway employees themselves could sometime do it as a part of a social commitment and offer some training to people and use some of our infrastructure that is available to us. Just imagine the huge impact it will have. But of course, we will have to let people know that it's not a job training program for the railways, because railways is actually not increasing substantially, but will create a trained manpower which will be employable anywhere. It can be, they can do their job on their own and they could contribute significantly to the economy and they will start earning income. That is what is more important. In fact, my personal experience from my rural areas work, I can tell you that a woman who starts earning more actually acquires the type of confidence that goes beyond an empowerment that comes through other processes. Therefore, this is a very interesting program, very important program, and the Railway is very honored to be participating in this program as partners with the Ministry of Skill Development. So we will definitely contribute our own might to make India one of the most skilled nations in the world. And this skill that we'll acquire over a period of time would not necessarily be related only to the geography of India. I know the NSDC has made a mapping of what type of skills are required in individual district of India and how they could be imparted to others. But just imagine, and this is an opportunity I'm sure my good friend Mr. Raju Pratap Rudy will also look at. Just imagine if we train people here for managing the old people globally. Japan has a big challenge of so many people. Now the Greece is going to have an even bigger problem because the pensioners will not get paid as much as they promised earlier. But the aging societies of Europe, aging societies of Latin America, aging societies of East Asia, including China, will really need people. So training that we'll offer could also offer trained opportunities not only in India but globally. And that's a great idea that we should really try to look at and pursue it. So therefore, we look forward to partnering with them. As I said, railways will have a limited role, but this mission as a whole has a potential to change the face of India that we have never recognized before, and this could really become a significant contributor to global economy as well as well-being of our people back home. So really look forward to this. Congratulations to my friends from the Ministry of Urban Development. Let me also offer him best wishes for tomorrow. I'm sure we'll offer the wishes tomorrow, but also let me take this advantage and wishing you today all the best to you. Sorry?
You are coming there.
I'll be there, of course. Thank you very much. Sorry, I just forgot to mention that recently the railways had observed a fortnight called Rail Yatri Suvidha Pakhauda. In that program, there were a number of components of that, which included testing, included customer service, including safety, including many things. But one of the component was also health camps and others. One of the component was training people for skill development. So we trained in that period a modest number of 5,500 people, just to tell you that we did that.
Thank you, Sri Suresh Prabhakar Prabhu, Honorable Minister for Railways, for your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, the defining moment has now arrived, for which we have gathered here. I would request Secretary, Ministry of Skill Development and Enterprise, Sri Sunil Arora ji, and Sri Pradeep Kumar, member staff, to sign the Memorandum of Understanding between the two ministries. I would request both Sri Sunil Arora and Sri Pradeep Kumar that after they have signed, they can come on to the dais for a photo session. Thank you.
थोड़ा ऊपर उठाइए, थोड़ा ऊपर एक्सचेंज once again.
Thank you, Sri Surendra Arora ji and Sri Pradeep Kumar for signing the MOU.